zombie. Turtle. Zombie. Turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle.
All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? How are y'all doing out there tonight? Good? Excellent. All right, so I am going ahead right now, and I am going to share this. Give me 1 second. Link on my Twitter account. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm writing We Live. Boom, boom, done. Okay. My personal Twitter account, which has been up for now 3.5 months. It's almost a new record because I'm constantly getting suspended on Twitter, but I figured out that you can just literally just use a new server, not a new server, a new whatchamacall these things. What's like Safari and shit? Browser, a new browser. I'm banned on Google Chrome. I'm banned on Safari, so now I can use whatever this is, the third string one, Firefox. I'm using that one now. So I'm on there. You can find me at TB_Aidan. That's at TB_AIDAN. That's not the primary TurtleBoy account. That would be at TurtleBoy Tweets, which has like almost 20,000 followers. I got a little over 3. That's not bad. And I also have like a phone account now. So I got a new phone, and I opened an account like 2 weeks ago to see if it will work. And because, who wants to go on the computer, right? Everybody's on their phone. So I'm probably going to use this one a lot more too. You can follow me on this one at TurtleBoy Phone. That's at TurtleBoy Phone. So you can follow me on there as well. I just started that one recently, so you can find me all over the place, whatever. I've also shared this on the Clarence with Emerson Facebook page and the Uncle Turtleboy Facebook page, which everybody should follow. Get on there. I'm pretty much everywhere on there. I'm hard to find, I know, but it is what it is. Welcome to the life of Turtleboy. All right, so anything else? Am I forgetting that? Shared all this shit. Should we just jump right into it? Give me one moment to just pull up the story here that we're talking about. So, TurtleBoy has made some big news in the last few hours, right? Basically today. I published a blog that has kind of gone semi-viral, particularly in conservative circles, but all over the place because it's a local story. But it, and I look at them, getting notifications for new followers. How about that? People are listening. That's great. So let me pull up this story real quick. That happened in the town of Dedham, Massachusetts today. Dedham, Massachusetts. Okay. See me there? There we go. Okie dokie. So this is Coach Dave Flynn. He is the football coach, the head football coach at Dedham High School. Which has an above-average football team. For those of you unfamiliar with Dedham, it actually borders Boston. A lot of people don't know that about Dedham. It borders the area of Hyde Park in Boston, and I think maybe part of 𝗏𝗏pan, I'm not sure, or West Roxbury. And it's kind of like to the south of it. Whatever. Anyway, it's a suburb, and it's not like the rest of the Boston suburbs. The rest of the Boston immediate suburbs are very ultra-wealthy, ultra-liberal. Places like Brookline and Cambridge, or shitholes like Chelsea and Revere. Dedham is just another Massachusetts suburb with like 25,000 people in it. It's not a hotbed of extremism, either way. Like they did vote for Joe Biden 2-1, but in Massachusetts, that's really not that odd. Like in Cambridge, they voted for Joe Biden 10-1. So it's not. It's a liberal town, but as far as Massachusetts goes, it's really nothing crazy or anything like that. Anyway, the guy has been the football coach there, and you see the team. They seem to all be having a good time. And I'll tell you one thing, just from coaching and being a former athlete in high school, a lot of people were probably former athletes. You remember, right, the coaching experience you had. Like doing high school sports like for the rest of your life. Not because it's like glory days, but because the adults who coach you taught you discipline, right? They taught you how to work with other people. It's a very underestimated or underappreciated value of sports, is that you learn to work with other people, coordinate people that you normally wouldn't be friends with maybe, and you work together as a team towards achieving a common goal. And the coach is the person that unites these people, brings them together, acts as a role model, etc. We all remember the high school coaches we had. Not all of them were the greatest, but this guy is extremely well liked in Dedham. He's got no complaints whatsoever about the job he's done coaching. And we've written a lot of stories before about coaches who've been fired, right, for their jobs. Over the years, I remember the Lincoln Sudbury baseball coach when I first started doing this. That happened to the Worcester Tech baseball coach. There was a Gardner swim coach. There's been so many coaches over the years. The one that comes to mind the most is the Braintree girls basketball coach in 2017, who's won like 4 of the last 6 state titles in Division I girls basketball, who was fired because 3 parents were upset about playing time and wrote a bunch of angry emails, and the superintendent caved. And the problem with these schools is that the athletic directors in the schools have no power. They are literally just appointed by the principal. The principals are, for all intents and purposes, are the ones that get to make these decisions, the hiring decisions about who's coaching in the schools. And depending on what school you're at, they may or may not actually care about athletics. There's a lot of schools that are just like, whatever, just sports is whatever. Like, we have a team, right? That's good. Whatever, just have a team. Who cares if they go 1-10? Who cares if the coach is doing a shitty job? As long as we're not dealing with emails, I got bigger shit. I got MCAS scores. I got other problems to deal with. And so sports is often an afterthought. Now, if you work in this, district with like jock principals, I got to be honest, Shepherd Hill was one of those places, right? Like Shepherd Hill cared about sports. That's one thing I liked about it there, is they valued winners. Like if you didn't do a good job coaching and your team just sucked all the time, see you later. And that's a good thing. I like that. Evaluate based on performance. And this guy, by all, data out there on this, all metrics, has done a pretty good job. I don't think they've won any state titles in Dedham, but they're not a joke. They're not a runover. They seem to be a pretty good program. And more importantly, they produce young men who go on to become valuable members of society, which is an invaluable service that the coach is performing for the community. So this guy was not fired for that, though. He was not fired for, pushing kids too hard, being too mean to them, whatever, not giving enough playing time. Oh, no, this is the most egregious firing I've ever seen of any high school athletic individual ever. So here is the letter. So it should be noted, first of all, he's also a teacher in Braintree. So he lives in Dedham. His kids are enrolled in the Dedham Public Schools. He was born and raised in Dedham. And he teaches like 2 or 3 towns over in Braintree. And basically, he gets fired by the superintendent, Michael Welch, and the principal, Jim Forrest. And it has nothing to do with sports. It has to do with his daughter and advocating for her, and we're going to get into that in a moment. Anyway, he sends out this letter. The district sends out this letter about how they're getting rid of him. They said, we are also writing and sorry to inform you that Dave Flynn will not be reappointed as the head coach of the Dedham football team. We met with Mr. Flynn today because he has expressed significant philosophical differences with the direction, goals, and values of the school district, not the football team. He has different, philosophical differences about coaching, about the role of academics versus, athletics, not the goals, like the values of sportsmanship, nothing like that. The values of the school district, he has philosophical differences. They did not expound on these. And people were pretty upset about it. A number of people contacted me about this, and they said, there's more to the story. You should find out about this. So, of course, that's what I do for a living. I find out answers to questions because the media isn't going to do that, obviously. So somebody around here has to do that. So I contact a bunch of people from Dedham, and I start talking to parents and, message them back and forth, figuring out what's told them, getting a hold of emails. These emails, by the way, are all public record. Anybody can get any of these emails. Any principal or superintendent sends an email out. Anyone in the public can gain access to those through the Freedom of Information Act. Anyway, so let's see what happens with this guy. So this is 7th grade teacher Kim Randall. I found out about this story last night. I found out she was a teacher involved in it. I went on her Facebook page. She had all these pictures up, wide open Facebook page. I'm like, sweet, love to see that. Tomorrow, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to download a bunch of the pictures, and we're going to have a good blog. I go on in the morning, and her page is down, which means she knew this blog was coming. People have been tagging Turtle Boy in it. So I didn't get many good pictures of her, but man, there were some good ones in there. Classic BLM, nonstop virtue signaling nonsense on her page. So she is Mr. Flynn's 7th grade daughter's teacher for world history and civilization. That is the class you take, world history and civilization. I never taught 7th grade, never taught world history or anything like that, but I took it. And my understanding of world history and civilization is you learn about, like, you know, the Aztecs and, you know, who conquered who, and, you know, the basic fundamentals of how the hell, like, why do they speak Spanish in Latin America? Oh yeah, because the Spanish, you know, we're down there. Why do they speak Portuguese in Brazil? Oh yeah, because the Brazilians, I mean, the Portuguese took that over, blah, blah, blah. The basic understandings of the world, essentially. Nothing too specific or anything like that. It's 7th grade. Okay. And so that's her job, is to teach that. And there she blows. And by the way, the Dedham teachers actually went on strike last year. They actually went on strike. And I don't know if they won or whatever, but we can get to that later. So anyway, now that there's remote learning in places like Dedham, everything's online. And so her classroom features a Bitmoji of herself, which is like a cartoon character of you, and wearing a shirt that says Black Lives Matter on it. Now, this needs to end. This nonsense, this acceptance, this widespread, the fact that it's acceptable to just promote Black Lives Matter in public institutions and in public schools needs to end. We saw this like years ago when Somerville City Hall put out a Black Lives Matter flag, right, on the city hall. And that was Joe Curtatone doing crazy things again. That's it. There's no hope for that city anyway. Fuck Somerville. And you're like, well, that's just Somerville. It's not going to come to Arlington. It's not going to come to Dedham. It's not going to come to Hingham. It's not going to come to these places. But the death of George Floyd changed all that. George Floyd made Black Lives Matter cool, the organization. Because prior to that, nobody liked Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was the terrorist organization going around chanting pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon, blockading highways, making sure ambulances couldn't get places, stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, if you guys, for those of you unfamiliar, if it's your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. I think last I checked, we were one person away from 13,000 subs. So that's cool. Also give this video a like, if you will, and follow. Yeah, we'll be here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night, depending on if there's football games at 9 o'clock. And also, if you feel like donating to the program, I'm banned from PayPal. I've been banned for like a month and a half. So I can't put the link for my PayPal in there anymore. However, YouTube does have a super chat function. There is a $sign right below the chat function. If you feel like donating to that, it's called the super chat. You do whatever amount of money you want to donate, and you get to write a little message. It comes up, it's like a banner. It's cool, etc. I'll read them off as they come along if that's possible. So anyway, that's that. So Black Lives Matter, this needs to end, this whole idea that Black Lives Matter is an acceptable thing for public employees to flaunt in public, because Black Lives Matter does not mean Black Lives Matter. It does not mean, it's a very catchy slogan. They have a great marketing team over there. But Black Lives Matter is an organization, a probably billion-dollar organization at this point, considering, I mean, the death of George Floyd is the greatest thing that ever happened to them, cash money. And Black Lives Matter believes that the Western nuclear family needs to be essentially abolished because it takes a village. Like, we should not be, individual families should not exist to raise children. It takes a village. They also want to abolish police and prisons, which seems perfectly reasonable. They don't want to reform the police. They want to literally abolish police, and I don't really know what their solution is. It's probably insane. They want to get rid of prisons because so many of them are prisoners or former prisoners. And basically they believe our entire justice system is racist. Therefore, it must be torn to the ground and rebuilt. And by the way, they're Marxists. They were literally founded by a communist, Patrice Cullors, who literally, she'll be the first to tell you, she's a trained Marxist that wants to abolish capitalism. She doesn't hide it. They've never hidden this ever. Anyway, so because of this, and because that these people, they've lied to us all summer. They spread, every time I hear something that's untrue now, I'm just calling it Russian disinformation because that's what they always do now. So Black Lives Matter was spreading Russian disinformation about police killings in this country over the summer like you've never seen before. They would make you believe, they would have you believe, if you were to blindly believe everything Black Lives Matter says, as millions of people do, that unarmed black people are being shot by police for sport in this country. Not white people, but just black. However, the data says otherwise. In 2019, a grand total of 10 unarmed black people were killed by police officers in this country. 9 men, 1 woman. Of those 9 black men who were unarmed and killed by police, and unarmed, by the way, means driving a car, you're unarmed. If you are driving a car at a police officer and they fire at you, you are unarmed. And several of those incidents involve that. So these people, these unarmed civilians, only 9 of them were killed and 8 of them were justified. There was 1 in 2019 that was not. That was it. 1. George Floyd's obviously would be another one. I don't know. I haven't looked at the data for 2020, but it's probably not that many. Have you heard since the George Floyd killing in May about a lot of police killings of unarmed black men? Have you heard about it? I can only think of 2 or 3, right? And let's review them since George Floyd. The ones that they've pulled out of their ass and completely caused them to lose support are Rayshard Brooks, right, who is a child abuser, who was out on probation, violated it because he was drunk behind the wheel of a car and passed out in a Wendy's drive-thru, then assaulted 2 police officers, stole their taser and shot it at them. And oops, he got killed. There was him. There was, who came next? Was, the rapist, Jacob Blake, Mr. Rapist, who digitally raped the mother of his children while she was sleeping. Pulled his fingers out and said, "Smells like other men." Yeah. So she had a restraining order against him. He was not allowed at her house. He went there anyway. He tried to steal their 3 children in a minivan. He was armed with a knife. The police came because she called them. The rape victim called them. They attempted to tase him and arrest him. He resisted. He didn't care. He was armed with a knife, and he attempted to get in a car and drive away, and that's when they shot his ass. He's alive now. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden visited his family. They said that they're proud of him. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden shared the Minnesota bail fund, right, to literally bail these terrorists and looters and rioters out of jail. That was all okay for them. And now they have the audacity to pretend like they care about the Capitol Police and law and order in general. They don't. They've never cared. At least our side is consistent. I've been anti-riot day one. Looters, lock them up. Rioters, lock them up. If you storm the Capitol, lock them up. I have no tolerance for these people. This is not how a civilized society functions. When you don't get your way or you're mad, you just get to break shit. No, 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 no. So it is inappropriate now for public schools to teach your children that, like, oh, it's Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. It's not a slogan. It represents anti-police, pro-criminal, bail everybody out of jail, abolish jails, abolish police officers, promote Marxism, abolish the nuclear family. When you are wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt and you're promoting that, and it says conservative Black Lives Matter, shout out to Rayla Campbell, okay, and Candace Owens and the rest. You guys are braver than anybody. It should be unacceptable for a teacher to wear those in public schools. Unacceptable. They should not fly. It is a political organization. They are officially affiliated with the Democratic Party. The Democratic platform of the DNC this summer was entirely Black Lives Matter. It was nonstop. They promoted it. There is no promotion whatsoever of BLM on the right, except from cucks like Mitt Romney, who aren't really Republicans anyway. Anyway, So that is the reason this should be unacceptable. Unacceptable for a teacher to promote this. And by the way, this is, of course, is the face of Boston Black Lives Matter.
And then this heifer running against Ayanna Presley. This one here.
This never gets old.
With the white husband. At some point, we're going to have a conversation with black folks who get in a relationship with white folks and then forget that they black. We're going to have that conversation. And I know it's going to fuck with y'all nerves. It's going to be uncomfortable. But we're going to have that conversation because if white vagina and white penises jeopardize your melanin, then we need you to sit in the back of the classroom and this ain't your part of the show and you don't get to talk right now. Until you practice some self-love, know your history, and realize where the fuck you came from, this ain't your part of the show. We need you to sit in the back.
Okay.
I need all the people that understand what it is to wake up black, regardless of how many educated gang symbols you have at the end of your name, regardless of how close in proximity you are to white supremacy, regardless of how many white penises you ride.
What?
And I ain't mad at you, sis, because if you riding that motherfucker for a credit score, get you that house, boo. Get your 40 acres in your mule. Just don't forget that you's a nigga.
Oh, now we're getting demonetized. Oh, for
Christ.
Christ.
I get it. He's living in Utah. He getting pink uncooked vagina.
Okay, uncooked vagina. I love that one, and I love this one, too. The greatest hits of my... And remember, when you see a teacher with a Black Lives Matter shirt on, this woman right here is the self-proclaimed president or leader of Boston Black Lives Matter. Never forget that. This is the spokesperson for BLM.
It is to wake up black, regardless of how many educated gang symbols you have at the end of your name, regardless of how close in proximity you are to white supremacy, regardless of how many white penises you ride.
Hold on.
And I ain't mad at you, sis, because if you riding that motherfucker for a credit score, get you that house, boo. Get your 40 acres in your mule. Just don't forget that you's a nigga.
Oh, come on.
Okay?
Is this freezing again? Did this freeze?
Cool. That's where we at. Don't forget. And if somebody don't get some racial bias into these white
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We are one
I am going to... Hold on. I'll be right back.
One incident away from a fucking race war, but...
This fucking froze. Hold on.
Misunderstandings. We're going to have a lot of misunderstandings in this city. Fuck the police.
Am I back? That was quick. Okay, hold on. Let me just get this queued up again. Fuck the police, fuck the police, fuck the police. We listen to 𝗦𝗂𝗧 and 𝗏's greatest hits together.
It is to wake up black, regardless of how many... Okay? Listen, the police.
Hold on. Because you need to see this. People that are not familiar, I never know who's, I'll never forget it. I'm not getting over 𝗦𝗂𝗧 and 𝗏. I will not stop with this. I won't stop playing this. I want people to understand that this is Black Lives Matter. It is no longer acceptable for your child's 7th grade teacher to promote this trash, this garbage, this hateful, divisive, racist, violent nonsense. It is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
The police, fuck the police, fuck the police. Y'all picked the right one. Y'all picked the right one. I'll organize 45,000 motherfuckers to be on y'all's front lawn. I'm not playing. Listen. Don't get to fucking keep and fucking abolish cash bail. Fuck your bail. They're literally getting rich off of fucking bail, and they're so ignorant and so disrespectful, but we're supposed to believe that they're there to protect and serve us. FTP to the fucking death of me. I love y'all. I'm appreciative. Y'all don't get... Don't come for me and I didn't fucking send for you. I don't need nobody to be on my team. I've been doing this shit by myself for how long? It's back. Today is the day.
Thank
y'all
you,
better come collect y'all's offices.
And thank you.
That's not a fucking threat.
Thank you, Heritage Wealth.
Because y'all sit and talk about police relations and community police fucking relations. And all of these fucking motherfuckers having these basketball events, taking pictures with cops. And y'all ain't telling these fucking babies that these are the same cops that are going to beat the shit out of them and run the fuck up on them when you pick the right one today. I'm going to sit here for a good...
Jesus.
Let me say this. Anything that happens in City Hall, I get notified by City Hall.
Oh, okay.
What that means is that this knows everything that's happening in City Hall. So maybe y'all need to check y'all circles. But I digress. So first, let me say...
Oh, this is her son. Never. Oh, thank you. I will not. Pop, 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 pop.
In your skin. And this is the shit that I'm talking about. I'm not anti anybody that has a city job. I'm anti-coonery. There is a situation in this city of house Negroes and field Negroes that nobody wants to talk about, right? And what happens is the house Negroes will always cape for the oppressor. It'll always be, Oz Master can't do it by herself. Oz Master really cares about us. Oz Master's gonna make sure we are all right. While the rest of everybody else is fucking scraping and picking cotton and using their fucking life to have these whips across their back.
Violence in Boston. This is
interesting. Yeah. So this, this is a
campaigning for him. I'm confused. I'm gonna need somebody to break it down for me. Like y'all are trying.
So anyway, she's completely trashy. So you get it. That's Black Lives Matter. So when you see this on your child's screen, Black Lives Matter, just understand this. This is what that symbolizes. When you see this teacher have a Black Lives Matter shirt on, that is what she is promoting. You don't get to walk away from that, okay? We have had to give up this. We had to give up the okay sign because apparently some white nationalists started using it. So now it's just banned, right? We've had to give up, what are some other normal things that we've had to give up because they're all of a sudden crazy? The term colorblind, you can't say that anymore. How about the thin blue line flag? That just used to mean police lives, right? Support dead police officers, murdered cops. Can't do that. Why? Because one bad guy somewhere, one racist, one white nationalist decided to start flying it. And now we can't use it anymore. So why does that not carry over to Black Lives Matter? They have plenty of people like Monica Cannon-Grant. Not only are they in the organization, they are the leaders of it. And yet you can still have a Black Lives Matter shirt on and say, well, I'm disassociated from that. Oh, I'm not like that. No, you are. You are. That's your brand. That's your brand now. Monica Cannon-Grant has branded Black Lives Matter in this manner. These are your leaders. You don't just give, I'm a white person that feels bad about being white, and I'm just showing that I care. Well, pick a different fucking slogan then. Pick a different slogan. You chose to go with the slogan that is identified with radical, communist, racist, violent assholes like Monica Cannon-Grant. It's not acceptable. Not acceptable. You have no right to push this on our children. These are our kids. Stand up for them. They've been through enough already. These teachers have put them through hell. These cowardly narcissists who refuse to go in your child's classroom because they are afraid they might give them a disease. It's fucking January now. A lot of your kids have not been in their classroom yet. These people have put you through enough. You don't have to put up with their fucking brainwashing too. I'm a former teacher, as you know. These people bring shame upon me. Shame. And these are the joke teachers too. These are the people that have beanbags in their classroom and don't fail anyone. And they just want everybody to like them. And they brainwash the kids. You should never, ever brainwash kids. That's unacceptable. Here's a cartoon that she gave out in class, right? Look at this cartoon. I don't even know what kids are supposed to do this. And remember, the kids are 12. The kids are 12. And it's a cartoon about risk versus mitigation factors. Kids don't even know what that means. And what does any of this have to do with world history? What does any of it have to do? So a white guy sees a black guy walking down the street, and it shows what they're thinking, and it weighs risk versus mitigating factors. And if the risks aren't, only slightly higher than the mitigating factors, then you're probably not going to get killed by this person. So what white people see when they see a black person walking down the street, according to the teacher that promoted this in the classroom, is that white people automatically think, yep, he's Okay, what are the dangerous aspects of this individual? Well, he's black. That's dangerous, right? Because, you know, us white people, we're all racist. We see black people and we're like, they're probably trying to kill me, obviously. Male, another strike against him. He's not aggressive, so there we go. Okay. Baseball cap on backwards. I would argue that flat brimmed in the front is slightly more dangerous, but I digress. Short hair, I guess that's a dangerous thing. Short hair, I don't know. I guess long hair is not dangerous. Baggy jacket. Baggy's not even in anywhere. The gangsters all wear skinny jeans now. They need to update this. Wrong neighborhood. What does that mean? Right? Those are the risks. The mitigating factors. So these are things that are safe. Okay, well, is it a female? Okay, then they're safe. Are they over 40? Okay, the black people that are over 40, they're safe. We don't have to worry about them. Oh, he's wearing loafers, right? No criminals wear loafers. Or a tie. Or he's whistling Sondheim. I didn't even know what Sondheim was. I did Google it. It's a composer. So he's whistling classical music for some reason. And so he's safe because he's cultured, right? He's not listening to rap music. And the black person's looking at the white person. And so this white person, you know, minuses mitigating factors from risk. And they're like, okay, not going to die, not going to get killed. The black person looking at the white person says, well, he's white, so he's probably going to kill me because, you know, that's what white people do to black people. They just murder us. He's male. Another check because you never, you know, except for that Texas cop there, Amber, what's her name? Geiger. It's pretty much always white guys doing the killing, right? Of black people. So safe. Long hair. We got to watch out for the long-haired white guys. Wrong neighborhood. Yeah, okay. Police officer. So police officers, obviously, when a black person sees a white police officer, they're going to die. And the mitigating factors that could keep them safe, well, they're female. Okay. Briefcase, groceries, right? Because, you know, you're really only in danger if the white person you see has got takeout, obviously. Those are the really dangerous ones you got to watch out for. He's humming Motown, so he's older and he likes the classics. He's listening to some Diana Ross, you know, maybe some Four Tops, I don't know, some Supremes, who knows? But that's safe as long as he's not singing, you know, Toby Keith. Then we're in trouble. Then we're in serious trouble there. I mean, this is so wrong for a teacher to have the audacity to waste your child's time. They've already taken so much of your children's time away from them. They are wasting your child's time when they should be learning about world history. And they're teaching them this. This is nothing. This is garbage. This is complete garbage. You pay for this. You don't have to put up with this. So why is this happening? Well, he decides to contact the principal, whose name is Karen, of course, Karen Hillman. And she sends this email back to him on October 5th. Mr. Flynn does. So he's advocating for his child now. Him and his wife see this. They're upset about it. They do the appropriate thing. They contact the principal to have a discussion. The principal says, understanding our own identity, the identities of others, and the perspectives that shape our reality are critical skills in developing students who can understand history, its lessons, and how they shape and inform the current social and political context. Think of this. How many understanding our own identity, the identities of others. When she says identity, she means particularly race, then gender identity, then maybe religion, throw in there. If you're Muslim, that could be part of your identity as well. So basically the idea of this is that the most important thing about you isn't, you know, what you believe or who you're friends with or your values or anything like that. The most important thing about you that you need to focus on is your physical appearance, your phenotype. You are white, right? Therefore, you need to focus on your whiteness, and your whiteness is problematic because whiteness over the years has been responsible for killing millions of people, essentially. Whiteness is problematic. And it doesn't mean you're a horrible person for being white, but you do need to understand that you are white and then make amends for the sins of your forefathers moving forward after that, if this makes sense. So she writes this whole email, and it's ridiculous. This sounds like something copy and pasted out of a manual that the principal would defend this, okay? And she says, we fully recognize the importance of being neutral adults in the lives of children. No, you don't, because your teacher is wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. They're not recognizing that BLM is not neutral. BLM is not just a democratic thing. It's part of the radical left wing of the Democratic Party. That's what it is. It's the right wing equivalent of like the Christian Coalition or whatever, you know, or the people that raided the Capitol. That's the right wing equivalent to it. QAnon, which I've heard is this horrible thing too, and I don't really know much about them. Anyway, here's the thing. In Massachusetts, our learning is dictated by what's called the Massachusetts State Frameworks. And you can find them on the 𝗕𝗫𝗄 website. It's an overview of certain things that you have to hit. I had the frameworks printed out on my desk, you know, like things I have to hit, names you have to mention, people you have to, it's a general overview. You can add on to there, you know, after that, etc. You know, there's certain documents you're supposed to use and analyze and stuff like that. I've looked it over. It's completely fair, the Massachusetts State Frameworks for history. Now, in Dedham, apparently, they don't do Massachusetts State Frameworks. They have their own curriculum. At least they had one, and it was pretty broad in general for world history and civilization. And so the parents are looking at this lesson like, where is this in the curriculum? Where is this? And they go online, the curriculum's gone. So they ask the principal about it. She lies. And the fact of the matter is that they were developing a new curriculum while this was talking. And not only were they making a new curriculum, they were renaming the class. It's now called like social science or something. It's no longer world history and civilization. It's social science. And Unit 5 of this new curriculum that they put out, the essential questions are the most important questions of a unit. So when I taught World War I, right, you list the essential questions at the beginning of the lesson. Like, what are we learning here? What are the main things we're focusing on that we should be able to answer at the end of this unit? So in World War I, I would say, you know, what were the major causes of World War I? Right? How was World War I fought differently than other wars? You know, there'd be like 5 essential questions that you need to be able to answer at the end of it. And the essential questions for this unit are, who am I and what do I value most? These kids are 12. That's who you are. You're a 12-year-old from Dedham. You value freaking, you know, Sour Patch Kids and playing football or whatever. You know, that's what you value. What is identity? And what are the origins of identity? They're 12. They're 12 years old. What is identity? This is insane. These are things that are taught like in radical classrooms in UMass Amherst that we always said, well, it's just in colleges. It'll never leave college. Yeah, just let them be crazy in colleges. Guess what? Those kids have all graduated. They're running your schools now. They're running your institutions. It's no longer just kept on college campuses. The crazies are out. This is now a societal problem that needs to be addressed and resisted at all costs, right? Another one, how does my identity inform how I interact with my peers, with other citizens, and with the media? They're 12. They have no relationship with the media. How can I use my voice to become a civic agent within my own community? They're 12, insane, 12 years old. So this all is part of a greater thing called critical race theory that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of before, CRT. Critical race theory is this new, not new, but like it's basically been promoted in college campuses and amongst radical groups. And it's become, thanks to the George Floyd thing, institutionalized now and picked up by lots of normal, or what used to be normal people. And critical race theory teaches about the dangers of whiteness. That is one of the primary things that whiteness is dangerous, okay? And that white people, it is also dangerous for white people to identify as a group, right? As a racial group. Now, I personally don't, if you're white and I'm white, I don't feel any source of identity with you. I'm sorry, I just don't. Because I am my own person. I identify with my family and my friends, but not just because you're white do we have any sort of connection or history together. And some black people feel the same way. Now, for whatever reason, you hear terms like black community, right? The black community is upset about this. Why are black people treated as a monolith in society, but white people are not? Why do we assume that 40 million black people all think the same way, all of the same values? It's extremely racist. It marginalizes conservative black people, right? Because they don't, oh, you don't think this way? You don't think this way? You know what that's an example of? That's an example, and I shit you not, this is a Washington Post headline. To understand Trump's support because Trump has 4 times the support of the Black and Hispanic community that Mitt Romney did. 4 times. The leader of the Proud Boys is Black. To understand Trump's support, we must think in terms of multiracial whiteness. What the fuck is multiracial whiteness? Multiracial whiteness. So basically, if you are a Trump supporter and you're Black, you're not really Black. These are the words of the sitting president of the United States. If you vote for Donald Trump, then you ain't Black. You are multiracial whiteness. This is not just radical people anymore. This is moderate Joe Biden in the White House promoting this horrible, divisive, hateful garbage. And you must reject it. You must fight it. You must resist it at all costs, because they are going to try to brainwash your children with it. And we cannot allow that. We cannot allow them to do this to our children. It is wrong. It is immoral. It is hateful. It is violent. It is divisive. It is dangerous. Do not allow it to happen. Fight this. So critical race theory, they are going to try to push this in schools, okay? And, you know, the best-selling book this summer was Robin DiAngelo's White Fragility, because the basis of the book White Fragility is that if you accuse me of being racist, then I say, I'm not racist. That's white fragility. Whoa, take it easy, buddy. Take it easy, buddy. Why are you so defensive about it? You say you're not racist? Sounds like some racist would say. That's the whole basis of it, right? But, you know, Black fragility is not a thing, even though we're literally crying. You know, Breonna Taylor is only one cop gets charged with something minor on there, and an ESPN reporter starts crying about it on TV. But that's not fragility. That's not fragility. Only white people have fragility. Okay, this is literally taught in schools. Our superintendent in the Wachusett Regional School District sent out an email this summer in which he encouraged parents to read White Fragility. Fuck off! I ain't reading that garbage. Take it and shove it up your ass. I'm not reading your garbage. Your critical. I'm not lining the pockets of these race hustlers. No, thank you. So anyway, the Dedham Public Schools, and thank you, KB all day. Whoever posted that. Anyway, so the Dedham Public Schools this summer were looking, put out a thing that they are looking to hire a diversity, equity, and inclusion coordinator, just out of thin air. The position will pay $120,000, okay, $120,000 a year, and they can just do that. They can just make up a position out of thin air because they have money to burn in Dedham. Teachers had to go on strike last year to get whatever, but they can just hire $120,000 a year to be a diversity, equity, and inclusion coordinator. Be wary whenever you see those words. Diversity is one of their favorite words. Diversity, and they don't mean diversity of thought or opinion. They mean diversity of what you look like. That's it. They just want lots of people who look differently because they want us to focus on what we look like. Okay. Equity is another buzzword they use. Equity does not mean equality. Equality is racist. Equality is that the idea that we're all born and we all are equal under the law, and then good luck, right? Go out and get yours, earn yours, you know, become successful, be your own person. Equity is the idea that we are not equal. Therefore, we need to all end on the same page. We need to have the same. If you have a job, and thank you very much, Suzanne, Bruins win, Jake from State Farm. Yeah. So equity is the idea we all need to end the same. Equality is outcomes. So if you know, if there aren't an equal or a representative amount of Black people in every aspect of society and every corporation and every job, then we need to create positions specifically for X amount of Latino people, X amount of Black people, etc. Not in the NBA and the NFL, though. Just, you know, places where Black people are underrepresented. That needs to happen. That's what equity is. Inclusion, another nonsense buzzword. So they basically make up this bullshit position, and they're going to bring somebody in who completely subscribes to this. Now, this is a town that is 95% white, 1.5% Black, right? These people chose to live on the outskirts of Boston instead of in Boston itself, in a town which is almost entirely white. But yet they want to pretend that they care about inclusion and diversity. Clearly you don't, or you would not have bought a house in Dedham. You would not have become the superintendent of the Dedham Public Schools. He left Framingham, an actual diverse city, to go, Michael Welch did, to go to Dedham. But he cares about diversity. Sure. So he writes this whole thing. They're looking to hire someone, and they hire this chick, Dr. 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝗔𝗂. And you go on her Twitter, and it's just racist after racist after racist thing that she says on here. We have to work on developing humanity, she says. So she shares this meme or this picture of white vision glasses. This is what she thinks white people see when they are looking at black people. Well, they see a black kid, and they put on their white glasses, and they see weed, crack, a gun, and a 40. That's because we're racist. That's all white people are racist. Did she delete this shit? She deleted it. What a coward. This is why I always screenshot tweets, by the way, because they love to take them down. What a coward. What an absolute coward. Coward. But I screenshot it all. So anyway, she's like, here's another one she put up. And she got the job, by the way, of course. She was an ELL director in the Boston Public Schools. They're like, oh, cool. You're black and you have a doctor in front of your name. Now we can pat ourselves on the back and Dedham and say, look it, we care. We care about black. Look at us. We care. We care about inclusion. We care about diversity here. And we got it. We have a doctor. She's a doctor. Did you know that? Her name is 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝗍. It's so different. It's so diverse. She's not named Sarah or Rebecca or anything. 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝗍, Dr. 𝗦𝗂𝗍. See? Look at it. She's from Boston. She's from Boston. Did we tell you that? Yeah. We got a Boston girl here now. We're fixing shit. So she says, when people say that they don't have a race, and I can't believe she tweeted this. When people say they don't have a racist bone in their body, they're usually saying that they're not racist. Yet there is no way that you inherit privilege from birth, learn history in our schools, work in our country, watch TV and films, and not be racist. She's basically saying there that people who say that they're not racist are just lying. All white people are racist. Why? Because they were born here, they watched TV here, they worked here, and they went to schools here. So you're racist. This is the person now who is rewriting the curriculum for the Dedham Public Schools. Okay? We need to teach all of our history. As if we don't teach all of our history anyway. She shared this cartoon about equity versus equality. We went over what that means. They don't want equality there. So the coach goes and he speaks to the superintendent because he's unhappy about the way the principal handled it, etc. And the superintendent basically says, I fully support Black Lives Matter, right? He was obsessed and bragging about, look at, I hired this black lady. He must have said it 10 times. I brought this black lady in. She's good, right? We're good. You know, we only have 70% white teachers here. That's good, right? Because he actually said this, and I've heard this from a lot of these critical race theory people believe that black kids cannot learn from white teachers because they don't look like us. You see a lot of this with Kamala Harris being the vice president now. Oh, she looks like me. Who gives a fuck what she looks like? Mike Pence kind of looks like me, right? But that means shit to me. It means nothing to me. Who cares? I looked at Barack Obama the same way. I voted for Obama. It's my dirty little secret. And it's not because it was just like, whatever. I was anti-war at the time, and I still am. And I didn't like George Bush, so I voted for him. Big deal. Okay? So this guy keeps saying this, and he also says that student Dedham is, quote unquote, astronomically white and needs to be exposed to critical race theory so that non-white students can be more comfortable in schools, whatever that means. That teachers are encouraged to express themselves in a way they feel will help students. Does anybody believe that if you went to school with a MAGA shirt on, a teacher there, that would be, well, they're just expressing themselves, right? They feel this will help students. They want to make America great again. Of course not. Of course not. They're liars. They're all liars, these people. Said that we need to embrace cultures from around the world, including a culture in which some cultures don't look at you in the eye, right? And instead of them assimilating to the way we do things in the United States of America, we should assimilate to them. That is the idea of critical race theories. We should be more worldly No society in the history of the world, no country, no civilization has ever operated under that basis. That people who come to the country, we adapt to them, not vice versa. That's insanity. Insanity. Anyway, there's the principal. So when they say philosophical goals, there are philosophical differences. They're not talking about coaching strategy here. They're talking about the fact that this man, this coach and father, most importantly, he spoke to them not as a coach, but as a parent. He doesn't coach the middle school. He coaches the high school. And he goes in there and basically he's unhappy about it. So he did what any responsible parent would do. And he says, look, I'm going to pull my kid out of this, and I don't want my kids being brainwashed. I'm going to send him to Catholic school. And they said, go ahead. We don't care. Go ahead. You mean shit to us. That's one less problem. Oh, yeah, by the way, you're fired. You're fired because you don't accept critical race theory and you don't embrace a terrorist movement known as Black Lives Matter. Okay? So this is going to happen everywhere. This is going to happen. This is shameful, obviously, what happened to him. And I've already spoken to a couple attorneys who have reached out to me on behalf and would like to speak with Mr. Flynn. And I hope he sues, because guess what? Let's imagine a scenario here in which, let's say he lived in Norwood, in the neighboring town of Norwood. Let's say he lived there. And the same thing happened in Norwood. And he goes to the principal, and he coaches in Dedham still, right? He coaches in Dedham. His kids go to school in Norwood. So he goes to the principal of the Norwood school. He gets the same runaround. He has the same complaint, blah, 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 blah. Nothing happens. He would still be coaching in Dedham. He was fired as a coach because of his advocacy as a parent, which is completely separate from the job the district hired him to do. Okay? This is a lawsuit waiting to happen. I hope he sues the pants off of them. This story has gotten a lot of views today, and it has been picked up nationwide. Okay? 𝗥𝗲𝗱, if you guys follow him on Twitter, he's got like 1.1 million followers. He's a blue checkmark conservative. He has been retweeting Turtle Boy a lot recently. A lot of people have. And Tucker Carlson's people contacted them today, I was told. And they want to have him on. I'm told that he's not good. I invited him on the show. The administration, I guess, at Braintree has advised them not to, because, and that's the thing with teachers. I used to be one, right? They are scared. Everybody's scared to lose their job. And this is why. This is why. Because he literally lost his job coaching for what? Because he advocated on behalf of his 12-year-old? What did he do wrong? We must fight this as parents, guys. If you have kids in your schools, fight this. Fight this. Make your voices heard. The reason that they win so much is because they are loud about it. They go to city council meetings. They go to board of selectmen meetings. And they make elected leaders and principals think that there's more of them than there actually are, that they are representative of the population because they make the most noise. Our side doesn't protest. Our side doesn't make noise, right? Because our side works. We have jobs and shit. We're raising families. We don't have time to protest all day and write emails. But guess what? You're going to have to. You're going to have to, because the next 4 years is going to be a war, okay? This is not, there's all this bullshit about unity. It's all a lie. They don't want unity. Are you fucking kidding me? They've never wanted unity. Did you think they wanted unity during the Kavanaugh hearings? Do you think they wanted unity when they attempted to destroy and hurt a bunch of 16-year-olds because one of them had a drum banged in his face 2 years ago and lies made up about them? Did it seem like they wanted unity? Did it seem like they wanted unity when they began trying to impeach Donald Trump from the moment he was elected, or when they tried to prevent him from being president after he was already elected? Yes, Donald Trump is a divisive figure. And quite frankly, he's not that much better than they are. Or he's the equivalent of what they are when it comes to divisiveness, right? He is a taste of their own medicine. That's what drove them so crazy. He's not George Bush. He's not Mitt Romney. He's not John McCain. He is what they see when they look in the mirror, a right-wing version of themselves. And that's why they hate him, because he fights the way they do. He's gone now, and they basically think they can do whatever they want. And unlike Republicans, they are going to, okay? They are going to. That is the difference. All Republicans do when they get power is give the rich people, give the rich and the middle class a tax break. That's what Republicans do when we have power. We just give tax breaks out and we pat ourselves on the back. We don't do shit besides that. All this talk about defunding Planned Parenthood, building walls, none of that shit ever happens. Are you kidding me? That's just what Republicans use to get elected. Then they get elected, they didn't do anything. That's what they do. They didn't like Donald Trump because he actually tried to do things. He failed on most of the things, but he tried. And he became the swamp at the end. We're going to get to that too. Anyway, this is what Joe Biden's going to be doing now. So Joe Biden is the president of the United States now, and the media is about to cover this very differently. They're already doing circle jerks at these press conferences, right? The media is what's going to annoy me over the next 4 years is just watching the media all of a sudden stop caring about asking tough questions or, being the fourth estate or whatever. It was all shit. All shit. Okay. Everything is opening up again, by the way. Coincidentally, the states are all opening up, even though we've just had record COVID deaths yesterday. We're opening everything up because this was never about COVID deaths or spread or anything. This was all about one thing, getting rid of Donald Trump. He is gone yesterday. Problem solved. It's over. We're opening back up again. Trust me. It is going to go down in history as one of the biggest scams ever. Anyway, Biden gets in there with the stroke of a pen, does what Trump spent 4 years doing. He just undoes it all. These are some things that he did, right? He stopped the border wall construction, whatever, ends the Muslim travel ban, whatever. I mean, most Muslim countries were allowed to come here anyway. Rejoins the Paris Climate Agreement. So we're going to go back into that, and which does basically nothing, and we give them money, and it's nonsense. Ends the Keystone pipeline. So basically, we are going to be more dependent now on foreign oil, which is great, which is awesome. So more wars. It's going to be fun. This is my favorite, counting non-citizens in the U.S. census again. So we're going to count non-U.S. citizens. So there's only one reason, of course, to do this. And this, of course, is for illegal immigrants because they want them to vote. They want them to vote. That's it. Because they're going to vote Democrat. They're so good at maintaining power. They're going to try to add DC as a state. They're going to try to add Puerto Rico as a state because then they're going to get 2 more senators, Democratic senators from each one. They would never try to make, Western Idaho a state or Eastern Washington a state because that would be Republican and we can't have that. They're only going to add new states. This is what they do. They're so good at it. We need to stop hating them and start admiring them. That's my number one thing for conservatives is stop hating on Nancy Pelosi and start studying Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi gets caught without a mask on. What does she do? She apologizes? No. She demands an apology. That's what you do. That's what winners do. That's why Nancy Pelosi has all this power, is because she demands it, period. They've also, Joe Biden has, and this is one thing that should really piss people off. And I want to talk to all the moderates out there that voted for Joe Biden and felt good about themselves. He passed an executive order saying that transgender students can participate in the sport and use the locker room and bathroom of their choice, of their identity. So this is going to happen. Your daughters have to compete against boys in track and field like they did in Connecticut and get the shit kicked out of them. This is what moderates look like. This is what unity looks like. Fuck them. Fuck these assholes. They're all just a bunch of liars. Unity. Fuck that. They don't want unity. We shouldn't want unity. Why would we want unity with these people? They're our enemy. Understand that. They are the enemy. I don't want to get along with them. I have nothing in common with you. Stop it. We hate each other. You hate me. You're trying to destroy me, erase me from the internet. I'm going to try to do the same to you. Cancel culture only seems to be right. The right always seems to be the victim of cancel culture. Why is that? Because we don't bitch and whine about shit, but we should. We should use their tactics. Absolutely. The masking challenge, which Biden already violated yesterday when he didn't wear a mask at the Lincoln Memorial. Extend eviction and foreclosure moratoriums. Oh, no. Defend Dreamers program. Okay, more undocumented people become documented, and then they vote for Democrats. A pause on student loan payments. Oh, yeah, you don't have to pay those. Protections for a group of Liberians, whatever that means. We got to do that. I mean, look at all this stuff. Boy. So one other thing that they eliminated here, the last thing, was it the last thing? No, the 14th thing. Actions, and this is what affects what we just learned about. Actions to advance racial equity, not equality, racial equity through the federal government. Every federal agency is to review equity in their programs and actions and revoke Trump's harmful 1776 Commission. The 1776 Commission was basically an overview of United States history that glamorized American history, right? Glamorized the American traditions, but also points out its faults. And, I taught American history. There's a lot of faults with American history, right? Like, we had slavery. That's really bad. We had Jim Crow. That's really bad. Really, really, really bad. But the beauty of the United States of America is the system was set up to correct itself. We can have amendments. We can create laws. We can do things to fix societal ills, thanks to our Constitution. Our founding fathers realized we cannot defeat England without South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, and the rest of the Southern colonies. And they're not going to join us if we try to eliminate slavery. So we are going to have to accept slavery in their states, but at least set up a constitution that allows us to eliminate slavery at a later date. That's the beauty of the American system. That's what the 1776 Commission teaches. What they believe in, the racial equity, the critical race theory, is the 1619 Project from the New York Times, in that the United States of America is inherently a racist country. And it teaches it from that. You've all been fed lies, right? You've been fed lies that America is not a racist country. So that is that. Okay. Anyway, people are saying they want this is a long show, but I've been doing some good rants here. People are saying they want the StreamYard link. Let me just rant about one more thing, and then we could take calls or questions or whatever. So yesterday on Facebook, I lost like 30 or 40 followers. I was surprised. I thought I'd lose more because I shit all over Donald Trump, and rightfully so. Okay. Donald Trump disgraced himself the way he left office, not because of hate speech or whatever. Donald Trump disgraced himself because of his pardons, what he did to his, because you're the president of the United States. You can pardon anybody you want, anybody. And of course, as a free speech guy, I admire Edward Snowden. I admire Julian Assange, who's in prison right now for essentially publishing emails that were hacked that revealed a lot of things that the government was doing that they shouldn't be doing. Snowden showed that the government was spying on us. He used to work for the CIA. He's living in exile in Russia, thanks to Obama. And the swamp, Republicans, Democrats, the swamp is the swamp. It doesn't matter. These are the enemies of the deep state. These are the enemies of the establishment. Because it's all, and that's why they hated Donald Trump, is he was supposed to be anti-establishment, anti-swamp. Mitch McConnell, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden all agree on one thing. Ed Snowden is a criminal. Julian Assange is a criminal. They must be silenced, because how dare they tell the American people what the government is doing to them. So Donald Trump has the power on his way out, because fuck it, what does he have to lose at this point? To give the biggest middle finger ever to the establishment by pardoning Assange, pardoning Snowden, pardoning Ross Ulbricht. I think that's how you pronounce his name. There's a bunch of whistleblowers he could have gotten out of jail or pardoned or whatever. And he did have a lot of pardons, and none of them were any of those whistleblowers. None of them. Why? Because Donald Trump's a fucking pussy. At the end of the day, you can talk about, Donald Trump's a tough guy. No, Donald Trump is a fucking Mitch McConnell pussy whipped bitch. That's all he is. He was a bunch of fucking talk. Did nothing. I mean, I'll vote for him. I'd still prefer him as president of the United States over Biden. But this guy was supposed to drain the swamp. He's supposed to, guy doesn't care. He's a maverick. No. He was a Mitch McConnell pussy whipped bitch when he left office. That's all he did. He incited this fucking failed bullshit bootleg riot at the Capitol. That's it. By lying to retards. Apologize for my language, but that's what people like Mike St. Pierre are. He called me that, so it's fair game. And plus, I brought that word back along with cunt and the F word as well. So it's okay. I can use that word. He appealed to them, fed them lies, and then they acted upon those lies. And he did not pardon Snowden and Assange. Why? Because he was scared that Mitch McConnell would convict him. Who gives a shit? You've left office. What do you care about conviction in the Senate? You're no longer the president. The only reason he could possibly care about that is that he wants to run again. And I certainly hope. Yeah, I certainly hope. I got the message about the porn bombs. I'm going to be very careful, guys. Don't worry. I certainly hope that, you know, I forget where I was going with this. This got interrupted. I was on a roll there. Yeah, stop looking at the phone. He did not pardon Snowden or any of these people because he's scared of, you know, he would get convicted, which means he can't run again. And if he tries to run again, fuck that. Fuck Donald Trump if he tries to run again. He blew it. He blew it. He lost. He lost. He could have won. He easily could have won. But he just couldn't shut the fuck up on Twitter. All you had to do is just appeal, like stop being such a douchebag because your policies are good. Just stop. If he had just pissed off 10,000 less people in Georgia, in Arizona, and Wisconsin, he'd be president again. But he didn't. He didn't. So he's gone. So he can't come back. I mean, he's done. He left and they control everything now. Everything. Why should we reward him? If he comes back, it's going to sabotage the party. So he did this. Now, Assange and Snowden, because nobody else in the deep state's ever going to let these guys out. He was the only hope. And he put his own ambitions before what was right. But he did pardon some people. He did pardon somebody. Let's see who those people were. Actually, I got some pictures of them. Do we have pictures of them here? Hold on. This guy. That come up? Okay. This guy's name is 𝗦𝗵cie𝗄𝗣. He got a pardon. He was serving 28 years in prison. 𝗦𝗵cie𝗄𝗣, big dude, looks like. Probably one of the most corrupt and shady politicians in American history. He was the mayor of Detroit. And there he is going to jail for 28 years. This woman is a stripper. Okay. Her name, I wrote her name down here. Her name is, let me see if I can find it. I forget. She's dead now. Thanks to 𝗦𝗵cie𝗄𝗣. Okay, there it is. All right. So her name is, she was a stripper, and the mayor of Detroit, I guess, lives in this a big mansion called the 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 mansion. It's a city-owned property, and he had a big party there in 2002. She was a stripper that was hired to perform at the party, except his wife, Carlita, came home mid-hand job or something and kicked the shit out of this girl. Now, this turned into a huge thing, and she was supposed to testify against the mayor at trial. Well, guess what? She got killed right before she was supposed to testify. And the kind of gun that was used to kill her was a city-owned Detroit police officer's gun. They never found out who did it, but we know it was a Detroit cop that killed her. And who do you think made that order? Gee, I don't know. I wonder who could have done that. That was just, he got away with that one. He got away with that one. There were other lawsuits. Seriously, check out this guy's Wikipedia page. It is insane, all this shit this guy did. And by the way, he's a Democrat, a radical Democrat. He went to jail for, you know, let me read some more things. I couldn't believe what I was reading. The trial began, and Kilpatrick and his chief of staff, Christine Beatty, were denying they were involved in an extramarital affair. But then the messages came out, and they were. Okay. He fired whistleblowers. He fired people, countless people that were going to testify against him. He check this out. There was a secret deal in which text messages were coming out. They were trying to protect text messages that would reveal he was banging somebody else that worked for him. And basically, if anybody spoke about the text messages, they had to pay $3 million. That was their written agreement, which sounds a lot like, you know, blackmail. He also, let's see what else we got here on this guy. The city council in 2008 voted 7-1 that he must resign. He said, no fucking way. And he stayed on. He pulled the 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗀𝗀. What else we got on here? He had a 12-count indictment against him. Thank you very much, Mike P, for that. It says, keep up the good work. Appreciate it. That. He was out on bail, and he was not allowed to travel He goes to Windsor, Ontario there to meet with the mayor there. He violates his own bail. He goes back to jail. I mean, check it out. It's one crazy thing after another with this guy. Bribes, extortion, you name it. So much shit on this guy. He assaulted a reporter who caught him on a California getaway with his family. The FBI investigated this guy. It's insane. It's insane. 28 years in prison. He had served 7. Donald Trump lets him out. What the fuck? Seriously, MAGA people, justify that. Justify that, how that's draining the swamp. This isn't you didn't even do it to a Republican. He's letting these crooked Democratic politicians out of jail. Oh, he's going to drain the swamp. No, fuck that. Donald Trump is the swamp. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. He is the swamp on the way out. You cannot justify what he did. If you're still doing it, then you are a Donald Trump dick sucker. That is all you are and all you'll ever be. You have no ability to think for yourself. You never gave a shit about the deep state or the swamp or whatever thing. The only thing you cared about is getting your mouth firmly around Donald Trump's mushroom fucking tip. That's all you cared about. You are fucking useless. Useless. Fuck off. So there's my bipartisan rant about Donald Trump and the absolute disgrace he made of himself leaving office. Fuck Donald Trump. Oh, by the way, he also let Snoop Dogg's rapper friend out of jail. So maybe if, and by the way, Snoop Dogg had a video in which he tried to kill President Trump. But that's cool. Trump is so desperate to like appeal to black people because he doesn't want them to think he's racist. But it's like, dude, you can't win anyway. What do you care? What are you trying? Who you? They're not going to vote for you either way. Stop it. Anyway, anybody wants to comment or question? I know some people. I'm going to be weary of pouring bombs here, so you're going to have to. Okay, if you guys want to call in, there's that, or you can just ask questions. I actually prefer asking questions because I don't know how to hide from the porn bomb thing. I might get, that's fine. Fuck them. I'm proud to get rid of them. These snowflakes. They're like, I'm never reading this again. Good. I fucking hate you. Don't you get it? You seem to have me confused with a Donald Trump dick-sucking organization. That's never what I've been about. I'm here to call it as it is. That's it. You can go follow Diana Ploss. Is she even on Facebook anymore? Did she get arrested? I don't know. Do I think the Dedham coach can win lawsuit? The lawyer I spoke to today certainly does. Absolutely. Absolutely. They made a huge mistake doing that. They made the biggest mistake they made was putting it in writing too. It's fucking idiots. And good. It's time to send a message to these people in court. Absolutely. Other questions? KP, I don't know where she's been. I honestly, who the fuck knows? I almost forgot about her. I got that BLT 123. I still haven't been served for that, and the hearing is supposedly on Tuesday. I called a couple of lawyers in Rhode Island. Nobody returns my call. So I don't know what's up with these Rhode Island attorneys. Some of you people gave me names and links to attorneys. I called them all. Not a single one of them returned my phone calls or emails. So I don't know. If you guys have any names of attorneys that would like to help me out, I guess I can call some more tomorrow. I don't know. But this lunatic is coming after my family and myself and somehow getting restraining orders against us. I don't know how, but other questions. Yes, I will absolutely be skewering the media 7-pounder. Absolutely. Because I know. Picks for the football games this weekend. I like, from the beginning, I've been a Buffalo-Tampa guy. That's my wet dream Super Bowl is Buffalo-Tampa. Although any combination in the Super Bowl this year would be good. I think the worst I'd like to see is Packers-Chiefs just because, I don't know, Chiefs won last year. It'd be nice to see somebody different win. And it's not the biggest cheesehead guy in the world. And the Buffalo against Tom Brady, you can't make up a story like that. So I like those two teams. Those two teams are playing better than anybody right now. These are the 4 hottest teachers in the league, or hot teachers. I saw a teacher on here, my geo teacher. The 4 hottest teams in the league. Oh, we have some students in here. Mrs. Randall is my teacher. What's she like? What's she like? We have Kim Randall is my geography teacher. So apparently there's some Dedham students in here. Yes, I see you keep saying that. If you'd like, how does your daughter like school? She loves it. Oh my God. She said to me today, she said, I want to go every day. I want to go every day. Because now she was remote today and she's remote tomorrow. And the half of the other class, 7 kids go one day, 8 go the other. There's only 15 kids in the class. I don't know why 15 kids can't go in one classroom, but she's like, I want to go every day. She loved it. She loves school, wants to be there every day. And she goes, didn't even talk to anybody. I told you guys this the other day. She didn't talk to anybody. And she had a great time just soaking it all in, being in the atmosphere, seeing her teacher. She loves learning. She loves reading. She loves doing math. Like, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it. And yeah, so it just sucks. Hopefully she will. There's no reason schools can't be completely open up. And I do have hope that now that Biden's president, that they're just going to pretend like coronavirus isn't a big deal anymore, which it's not. It's just not. So anyway, anything else, guys? Did those girls write back? Did they say what this teacher's like? If any of these students, if you guys want to call in or just talk, I don't know. That once again, the StreamYard link, if you want to call in, is right here. What audience, man. We've been killing it with the views, guys. Killing it. By the way, hit that like button if you haven't already on this video. Smash that subscribe button. Come every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Follow us all on social media. We're the revolution here at TurtleBoy Sports. We are the next 4. Actually, Biden winning is probably going to be good for me in the end, because I guess that makes me the de facto leader of the resistance movement now in Massachusetts, at least. So, we're going to mobilize here, guys. We are going to do some protesting. We are going to do some canceling, right? We are going to get woke in this bitch. Just understand that we are going to redefine what wokeness is. Right-wing wokeness. Anything else, guys? Absolutely. Turtle Boy Resistance merch. That's a good idea, because we were talking today about maybe we should brand that. It's like Turtle Boy, the new resistance. We need to brand this. The Turtle Boy Resistance. Over the next 4 years, the resistance is here, baby. We are the resistance. The Turtle Boy Resistance movement. Mrs. Randall is very political, but she's good at others. I'm sure she's a fine teacher. I'm sure she's perfectly capable of teaching world history. I wish she would stick to that. And your teacher should not be political. I used to be a teacher, guys, and I have very strong political opinions, as you can see on here. My students had no idea what I was like. No idea. That's why everybody liked me when I was a teacher. It's because I didn't offend. If I was like saying my political opinions, a lot of them probably wouldn't like me. But you have to be professional. And more importantly, you have to make sure that kids feel welcomed in your classroom. Every student in your classroom should feel welcomed to be there. And if you start promoting Black Lives Matter shirts, if your parent's a cop, you're not going to feel welcomed in that classroom. You're not going to feel like my opinion is valued in this classroom, because it's not. Because the teacher looks down upon you. The teacher probably thinks your parents are trash. So it's really important not to do that, I talked about the FOIA the other day. I followed up on that. I'm going to keep on that. Trust me. Yeah. And the Dedham School Committee. That's another thing. I mean, I don't know much. I don't know anything about Dedham politics. Don't really care. But if you live in Dedham, you should. We learned this hard way through COVID. Like, the Board of Health owns your life. The school committee decides when your kids go back to school. Run for office. I'm telling you, just run. Nobody runs in these elections. Nobody votes. Just run. You could get on. You could run your town. Instead, the only people that run are these people that know how the system works, and they know that, like, we can control everything, and hopefully they never find out. Run. We had the first revolution we started in Turtle Boy was in Spencer, of all places. Remember that? We were exposing their school system there, the awful conditions and how kids at David Prouty couldn't learn and all the cover-ups that were going on there because of 2 members of the school committee that were just allowing this to happen. So what do? We voted them out. Problem solved. We voted them out. We endorsed 2 other people in Spencer. Small town, 9,000 people. Boom. Problem fixed. I like that. Okay, anything else, guys? We love Mr. Flynn. Atta baby, Emily. Thank you. I don't know if Emily, if you go to Dedham or what, but I'm glad students of Dedham, it seems like they're rallying around this guy. That's how you can tell the guy's making a difference when all these people rally around him. It's great to see. And I would urge them, if the Flynns are listening right now, there's going to be a lot of pressure to frame this as like a Black Lives Matter thing or a conservative thing, because the right wing is going to eat this up. They're going to love it, right? It's a perfect story for them. The left wing is going to ignore it. And it's important to stick to the principles here, because it's going to be so easy for people on the left to just dismiss you and be like, oh, you're just a radical Trump supporter. Fuck you, right? You should be canceled. That's the way that they think. No. This needs to be framed as, I was fired from my job because I am a concerned parent who advocated for my child. It doesn't matter what I was advocating for. The fact of the matter was I was fired for advocating for my child. And if that can happen to me, it can happen to you, right? It can happen to any of you, even left-wingers. If you're unhappy about a way a class is being taught and you advocated to your principal and you work in that district, you could be fired next. Is that the kind of country that you want to live in? No. So, anything else, guys, before we call it a night? Yeah, I guess we got a lot of people from Dedham. I love to see it. I love to see the youth here. That's great. That's great to see. No Jerry today. No, Jerry's only having me on once a week. I don't know if he's mad at me or what. Maybe I'm falling out of favor with him. I don't know. But you know what? We got more views on this show anyway. So I'm going to keep it real on air. I still like doing the Jerry show. I'm going to continue to do it whenever he wants me on, because I like to do that, but I'll be here. I mean, this is my show. I make the rules here, and I like that. All right, anything else, ma'am? And ladies and gentlemen, rather? The Turtle Boy Club, very soon, trust me. It'll be next week. We're going to have our debut. I give you that. Next week, we're going to have our debut of our first actual history podcast. And I'm going to do it probably on Monday. I'm going to make a whole post about explaining how it's going to work, and it's going to be available for sale. It's ready to go. I mean, remember we used to have like under 100 people per show now? Now we're like up to close to 300 most of the show. So we're killing it, baby. Killing it. Thank you, Joe Biden. You are a gift to me. You are a gift. She's not going to school tomorrow. She's scared. I did not know. I mean, she shouldn't be scared. Nobody should be physically threatening her. But you know, she chose to align herself with a radical organization. She should not have done that. No teacher should. And I feel like this sends a message to other teachers like, what if Turtle Boy writes about me? I hope they're thinking about that. Because this is wrong what you're doing. It is wrong to promote an organization that is anti-police, anti-prison, anti-capitalism, anti-family, etc. What do I think of Amanda Goldensbaum? Overrated garbage. I feel like I think poetry in general is so stupid and useless. You know, it's just a way for talentless people to make themselves feel like they're wise or, you know, thoughtful, because they talk in a pentameter like this. But will they really know? I don't know. Maybe we will see. But the strength of our unity will carry us through to the future where the doors will open. It's literally just talking, except you do it in a rhythmic manner. That's all poetry is. It is the most overrated art form that has ever existed. Doesn't even rhyme. Useless. Absolutely useless. All right. Anything else? Before we call it a night? Can I do a poem instead? Yeah, I should do more poetry. Is the freestyle technically a no? Because the freestyle rhymes. What I do is more of an art than whatever that was yesterday. Nonsense. I can't even, like, poetry to me is just cringe. Even when I listen to it, I'm like, ugh, cringe. Like, we're all supposed to sit here and be like, oh, wow, that's deep. That's so deep, so powerful, so strong, so brave. Ugh, garbage. Yeah, 100 days of masking. Yeah, I'll get right on that, Joe. I'll get right on that. Man, look at all this poetry. All right. Anything else before we call it a name, guys? Any more questions? Love the TurtleBoy poem. I'm just going to read blogs in poetry voice now. Let me read Joe Biden's executive order. I'll just read Joe Biden's tweets in poetry voice, okay? I'm going to read one to you. Wearing masks is not a partisan issue. It is a patriotic act that can save countless lives. That is why I signed an executive order today, issuing mask mandates on federal property. It is time to mask up America. That's all. That's literally all poetry is just taking words and saying them and making yourself sound inspired when you're just a talentless douchebag who can't get a real job. That's all a poet is, okay? So thank you, Bev. I appreciate that. Yeah, haiku night. I should start doing a haiku night. Okay. Anything else, guys? Good show. Good audience. Yeah, I like limericks. I'm a limerick fan, especially David's and Margaret's. They're good limericks. We have better poets. I'll tell you, the Turtle Boy commenter poets are a million times better than that chick that spoke at the friggin' inauguration. That's for sure. Oi. All right. So I guess, well, people are really mad about the poetry takes. Ooh, geez Louise. Rough crowd. All right, guys. So that was cool. We will see you all on Saturday night for the next episode of Turtle Boy Live. Peace, Turtle Riders.